Okay, everybody, welcome to Pulse. Again, we have another a great guest. We have a local artist. He goes by the name of Drew Blood, also AKA Mr.
Mr.
Blood,
Blood.
or Daddy Blood,
Captain Blood.
Captain Blood. He's a great anime artist. He's a great tattoo artist. Again, we have Drew Blood.
Drew Blood here, man. How you doing, man?
Doing good. How are y'all doing?
Doing
Great,
good, man.
great,
We just
great,
appreciate you.
Yeah, thank
being-
you for coming.
Yeah, this is really cool. I like the idea behind all of this.
Yeah.
I watched some of your stuff before.
Did
to
you?
kinda- yeah, just to like kind of see what I was getting myself into here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not like a prank show or anything like that.
Oh yeah. I just I walk outside and somebody shoots me in the face. Yeah. I mean, please.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Man, but yeah, I mean, I started following you before we did the podcast, and I was interested because I only have like 2 tattoos on me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and they're simple, just small, black,
We can curse, right?
Yeah, we can curse. Yeah. You know what I mean? If anything, I could do the typical beep. Yeah,
Sure.
you know what I mean? But yeah, I've been looking into getting like a bigger anime piece eventually. So that's why I was like browsing around and I saw yours. I was like, this guy
It's legit.
is legit. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So what made you get started in just tattooing in general first, and then segueing into the anime?
Well, I got started when I was like really young. I think I was started when I was 18, but then I took like a 10-year break after my apprenticeship. The industry was way different back then. I'm sure, y'all are similar in age, so you probably remember back then a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of misogyny, a lot of
Yeah.
like really dark behavior. So I was like, I don't feel like comfortable in this setting. Like everyone I worked with was pretty horrible as human beings. There was one guy who was there who was great, but everyone else really just sucked. And so it gave me a bad taste for tattooing,
yeah.
and I just wasn't making the kind of money I needed to make also to make ends meet. So
Yeah.
I took a break, and then did another job for a while, and I lost that job, and that was when I kind of was like, oh, I need to follow my dreams. I don't need to be doing this thing that I'm doing right now. So because I was working at a pharmacy for like 10 years.
Oh, okay.
That was horrible.
The monotony.
Oh yeah. And it was like the worst job ever. I still have nightmares about that place. So and that's not even a joke. So yeah, if tattooing doesn't work, I don't think I would have. That's why I got my face tattooed and my hand done. It was pretty much like a way for me to say like there's no going back.
Yes. Yeah. All in.
Mhm.
Yes.
Generally, I think the main reason I got into tattooing from the very beginning, though, was my dad was getting tattoos when I was a kid, and he hung out with a lot of bikers and shit like that. So
Oh, okay.
I just thought it was really cool, and I love drawing, so they would encourage me to like be at the studio when he's getting tattooed and just draw up stuff and just joke around with it. And it was a fun environment back then, but I was a kid.
So
Yeah.
when did you start practicing? Like, when did you actually get the gun in your hand?
Like way back when or recently?
No, initially, the very first time.
I was dating this girl. We were together for about 5 years.
Uh-huh.
And her mom had an eBay account, and she was just like, hey, if I get you a machine off of eBay, will you tattoo me? I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And she's like, it's okay, don't worry about it. So she ends up using her mom's account and buying me a kit off of eBay, and back then it was like $80, and you get like those Chinese knockoff ones made out of like pewter pretty much, or like toxic materials. And I had to figure out how to use it on my own. But just before I got my apprenticeship, I quote that because it wasn't an apprenticeship. But I tattooed her, and her mom actually really liked the tattoos. And so she's like, look, I'm not going to get mad at y'all for buying it, but you have to come over to my friend's house and do like a little like tattoo party kind of thing. And so like you sit down, and pretty much drunk people just get tattooed by you. Very unprofessional. Don't do this. You people, don't do this. It was a different game back then. Like now you have so many like ways to learn how to tattoo. There's so many things. Like I'm okay with people getting into it by learning online and learning with their friends in a safe, sterile environment.
Yes.
I was not in a safe, sterile environment.
Yeah.
This is like you're tattooing like in someone's living room kind of thing, and people are just like coming one after another
On the recliner.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's pretty much exactly what happened. And then after that, it was just tattooing, just on a bunch of people that had crappy tattoos. So if I fucked up, like they're like, "This is the best tattoo I've ever gotten." So I was like, "Cool," and doing like biker rallies and stuff like that.
But you obviously had a talent for drawing in general. In order to
Yeah,
start
there has to
tattooing.
be some like
Yeah,
at
I
least.
mean, there was a lot of.
Did you draw like
Mhm.
comic book characters or?
I didn't actually draw too much anime back then. The only anime I ever drew was Dragon Ball Z, but I drew my friends as Dragon Ball Z characters.
That's cool, man.
And so now I'm not a huge fan of Dragon Ball anymore.
Yeah.
But if someone asked me to do it, it's like the easiest thing for me because I could draw anything Dragon Ball like. Like I can't even snap my fingers. But, it is what it is.
But going into, you say you're not a fan of Dragon Ball now, like you're talking about more like just the new Super, like Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball Super is pretty dope. I don't like the story for it. I will be honest. I thought that it was just like
Out of control. Like,
it was just power creep constantly, and every other character was like, I'm stronger, and it was just basically the tournament was like reminding me of when I was a kid and I had my toys and I was trying to figure out which one was the strongest one,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what it felt like.
Ninja Turtles.
Well, for me it was Spawn.
Oh,
Yeah, Spawn was
yeah.
always Spawn toys were always the winners.
Yeah.
They were the nastiest looking ones. Sometimes the Xenomorphs would win. It just depends. But yeah, it just there was a lot of power creep in it, so I wasn't a huge fan. Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball before, I'm just not as huge of a fan because I think the shonen style of one fight takes like 10 days. Yeah, I just don't think that I can get down with that anymore. I'm just I don't know.
And there's like always there's like 2 episodes of them just
Yelling it out.
So it's fine. I like it for the nostalgia.
Yeah.
But will I go back and watch it in my free time? No.
Yeah, no.
There's just so much anime now. It's
Oh,
like
yes.
you can never run out of content. Like
Yeah.
if you're like I don't know what to watch, you I don't know. You need to get a lobotomy. Like, there's content.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, there's like pages and pages of just endless content now.
He actually just got me into it because I was so opposed to it. I did not like it. I just started from the beginning, and then everybody loved it, which I don't like to be a part like of everybody, like a sheeple or sheep person. You know what I mean? But I was like, man, you know, I'm missing something. So I asked him, and he always breaks it down.
Yeah.
And like this is the anime guru right here.
Yeah, if you want horror, you go to him. You want
Yeah.
anime, you come to me. Like,
That's fine.
no
Yeah.
depth. But yeah, so he's talking about One Piece. So yeah, fine.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, I
did.
got him into One Piece.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm only at like 488, and then he's telling me
that you say only.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sad thing that when you say only.
And see, I didn't get into One Piece until the lockdown. You know, like yeah. So I'm more like a recent One Piece fan in that aspect. I didn't start from like the beginning, like when it first dropped.
That's fine.
Yeah. So, but when it was a lockdown, it's like, man, I got all this free time. Yeah, there's other content, but like, let me actually give this a legitimate try. You know, because at first I did the first 30 episodes. I'm like, nah.
I made it to Sky City.
Oh, you mean this
That's
guy-
that's the furthest I got, I think. And I like Chopper. I think Chopper's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good character, and a lot of the characters are like well written. I think.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
just
yes.
I don't think I can get down with the art in the early stages. I heard later it gets fantastic.
Yes.
I see, and that's what he was saying because I kept saying like videos of like the later arcs and how that's going.
They just got out of Wano finally, right?
Yeah.
They just finished that whole thing, the Wano. Yeah, that so far's been the longest arc. I think that one on its own is 210 episodes so far. That one alone.
More episodes than like most animes that I watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Have y'all heard of Golden Kamuy?
Golden Kamuy. I've heard of it. I've been right now stuck on Hell's Paradise. That's the one I've seen it and I'm like almost.
Only read the first manga, but I haven't watched it yet.
oh, so you actually read the mangas too.
But I haven't found number 2. My coworker got me 3, and I think I bought 7. So now I need to find number 2. That's the next one. But I also don't look for them. It's just something I'm at Barnes and Nobles and I see it, I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah. Which they have a good selection.
Yeah,
actually.
they're pretty
Yeah,
decent.
surprisingly.
Yeah, I went for Demon Slayer because once season 2 ended, I was like, I cannot wait like so long for like, because that for me it's like it's gonna be another Attack on Titan kind of thing where it's just gonna like drag on for a
Oh,
long
yeah.
time, and it's just like I need to finish it. It's already done. I'm gonna read
I'll
it.
talk about Attack on Titan.
Oh man.
I haven't seen the ending, but
Oh, dude.
That ending is,
I don't know what to say.
it's a hard ending to watch,
Yes.
but it's such a beautiful story though, and it's just like.
I'm on the first episode of the final season. So
Yeah.
I think that's like 5 episodes or some shit. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
You got like 5 episodes. I think the last 2 though, it's like each one's like an hour and a half long. So
I don't want to give any spoilers, but the first episode hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
There was, the fire situation.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about that. But when y'all see it,
Too
it's
soon.
it's a little sad.
Oh man, the next time we talk to you, and then you watch the last 2 episodes, and then we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Yeah.
yeah.
I did.
Honestly, I'm a relatively stoic human being,
Yeah.
but anime gets me.
Yes.
Anime makes me feel things.
Yes.
And I'm just like, holy shit. Like, my ex-girlfriends would be surprised right now. I don't want to talk about that.
I know, man. Like,
I could
there
always-
was one for like Naruto. I don't know if you
No, I never got into Naruto.
never got onto it.
No,
Man,
That's another one I
love
can't.
The characters, but like Kakashi and the Pervy Sage.
Jiraiya?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm one of a big Jiraiya fan. That's
drawing Jiraiya.
yeah, that's such a sad story though.
I hear-
It's such a sad story. Just his backstory and then his life in general,
Yeah.
and it's just like, man,
Usually, if you notice, especially in anime, like the funniest and most like lighthearted characters are the ones who had like the worst possible background. Like, like Dazai from Bungo Stray Dogs. Spike Spiegel, he's a little lighthearted, but I don't know if I'd go that far. There's another one that was, I mean, Deadpool obviously, but that's not anime. But
I don't mean,
It's
I'm
still-
big into
no.
Marvel and DC myself.
Yeah,
you know what I
look,
mean?
check it out.
I got
That's
my
what he
little.
oh, that's so sick. That is so sick.
Yeah, man.
I love
graded
Carnage.
and signed. So
Ah,
it's
man, that's
like,
fucking
I
dope.
had to get it.
I have so many like Deadpool comics, and I have like a Deadpool cosplay that I do.
Oh, nice.
I used to use it for like the charity stuff where
Yeah.
you go and I'm not really like a kids person, but sick kids are different.
Yeah.
You gotta help sick kids. You gotta, well, not all of them. I mean, it's not like I'm just helping terminal kids out. I'm just like, hey, so
He's being over here like that meme where it's like you go to the hospital next thing you know, the Avengers show up. You know what I mean? And it's like,
oh no! Yeah, and it's like I'm just looking at my watch, just like how long you got? It's like 5. 5 what? 4. 3. 2. Yeah, that's fucked up. But no, we used to do something like that with like this cosplay group I used to work with, and then they would do like raising money, like working at bars and things like that.
Yeah.
Are y'all gonna be going to EchiCon?
I've been wanting to go. Yeah, Etchy Expo. I've been trying to contact them. We're trying to get some media passes. For them in general.
They've been so busy.
Yeah.
I got a response back after like a few weeks.
Oh, you actually got a response?
Yeah, because I asked them if I could get in on the ticket, and they were like, "We would love to, but we have been booked out." There's one of my buddies is tattooing there, and apparently he's the only tattoo artist there.
Oh, okay.
But he's amazing.
Wow.
And he's out of Denver, Colorado, so this is a whole new market for him. But he was like, "Hey, if you want to do it with me next year," well, they said, "Do you want to do Dallas? We can also put you in Dallas or in Denver." And I'm okay with both.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Dallas traffic, but
Yeah.
the drivers there are fucking wild.
Yeah.
Like if you're from Dallas, like stop driving.
That highway is ridiculous.
Yes,
Our
man.
drivers are actually the worst drivers.
My first convention ever was in Dallas, and man, that was an experience too. Like,
Convention was that?
Fan Expo.
Oh
Yeah.
that was actually pretty good though.
It's a good one, but the traffic just to get there,
Yeah.
it was ridiculous.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
would
just,
Uber.
yeah, I didn't know like
My
how.
eyes and be like, I'm not watching.
I think the worst traffic that I experienced was in Houston.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and it was for the Make a Wish Foundation for skateboarding.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so I actually it's kind of a funny story. I met in the hotel that we were staying with was the Think team, and they were outside skating, and it was me and my homeboy. So we were like, well, let's go approach them. You know what I mean? And let's see if they want to play skate. You know what I mean? So
Oh, shit.
so we played skate against the pros. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So at the time, Pancho Moeller was on the team, right? And now he's blowing up. He's got a new podcast. Check that out. But my mom was like a certain height, and he hit on my mom, and it was so embarrassing, dude, because he was like, "You're the perfect height," and he just stared at her boobs. And then he signed a card and wrote his number on there. I was like, man.
That's on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Yeah, you trying to hit on your mom right in front of you.
Yeah.
I mean, did he know?
No.
Oh, okay, well then it's fine.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
fine.
it's
It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I would be like, yeah, go for it, but you know,
Yeah.
I don't know how your mom looks, so you know.
Oh, she's old. She's old.
I hope she's watching this.
She does. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
she
you, mom.
Thank you to our 2 subscribers. That's my mom.
Oh, hey, he did something special for you, man. With
Oh
the
yeah,
Funkos.
man! I got all little anime up there. Make sure we got.
Oh yeah,
Some
this
character.
is everyone's favorite daddy.
Yeah, we got the juicy. Which you'll be here in San Antonio.
The English actor.
The English actor, yeah, he'll be at Pure Joy Toys. Shout out to them.
Oh yeah. They had the guy from Hisoka. What's his name?
So they've had the Attack Titan, which is the Beast Titan. They've had him. They're bringing Bryce, which is Inosuke Happen-book,
Yeah.
but they're bringing all 3, which is Mikasa, Bryce, and they're bringing the Armor Titan. All 3 of them are going to be in that same play. You guys need to check it out. I think the sales go on 27. Do it on the 28th because I want the VIP.
It's really cheap too.
They're
always really cheap. Like I think for like one of the events they were as low as like $5 just to like go in. And yeah, you have to pay to get things signed, whatever. But it doesn't matter. $5 just to go like meet somebody and like that's so dope.
The general admissions are usually $5, and the VIPs are $20. You know what I mean?
And then you just get to the front of the line.
Yeah, get to the
Yeah.
well. They have a separate line VIP, and then they only do like a certain amount. So I think it's like 20 or 30. So they'll let all VIP go first, and then once that's done, general admission goes in. But it goes by so quick that
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to be there all day like signing shit and talking to people. Like that would make me feel like weird.
Yeah.
But that's really cool, man. I love how the voice acting scene has gotten so like prominent among like the general public. So like they before voice actors couldn't just go to conventions and just get like seen. You'd have to be like big, like going as like Bart Simpson, you know what I mean? Like people like generally know who you are. But now there's just so many like anime people out there that they see like someone who just played some mediocre character in some anime nobody's heard of and they're still like, fuck yeah. You know, and that's awesome. I love that because there's a certain amount of like, you know, it's a lot of work. Like voice acting, I've always wanted to do it, but I never invested any real time.
You have a good voice for
You do,
it.
for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
yeah, man. I mean, that was always my top tier dream was like also just voice acting.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just like they did say like because I did talk to it was Johnny Young Botch. Talked to him. I talked to Bryce. I just told him, you know, like what's general like voice acting is, and it's like you just have to in the beginning just take whatever you can get.
Yeah.
If it's commercials for like hemorrhoid creams, take it. You know what I mean? Like just get your voice out there. And if you don't think it's good, there's always classes that you can like adjust your voice in. You know what I mean?
They teach you about that, and it also helps with singing. Because I was gonna take the classes because I love singing. I just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Like I do what's in my head,
Yeah.
but it's like, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. Like so any of
Yeah.
you who've seen any of my stupid videos, understand I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, like don't judge me.
Right? Now I know if every place had the acoustics as my fucking restroom, I think I would blow up. You know what I mean?
That was a good phrase to use for that
Yeah.
when you're talking about a restroom.
Yeah. I mean that's the best. I always have the best concerts.
So speaking of music, what are you jamming right now?
Oh my god. Okay. So this Wednesday, Brand of Sacrifice is gonna be here.
Ooh.
Um
You're a metalhead.
yeah. I mean I would say more like deathcore to be like specific.
Lorna Shore?
Lorna Shore is dope.
Slaughter to Prevail?
Slaughter to Prevail is good. I'm more of a fan of the singer than I am of the band. Because I like his like side stuff that he kind of does.
Yeah.
But yeah, Born of Osiris,
Ooh,
um,
good one.
Darko US, which is the same singer as Chelsea Grin. So that's a fucking amazing band. If you haven't heard that, I would check that out. It's really
Actually, I haven't.
nasty. It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Ooh.
And if you like Chelsea Grin, it's like even nastier than Chelsea Grin. And another good one, 1056. They're from France. So that's a weird call out there, but yeah. But that's generally what I listen to the most of
Yeah.
is a lot of that.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
badass.
yeah. But I would definitely like start if you're gonna start with like a deathcore. I would say Brand of Sacrifice, and it's like obviously it's like a berserk call out. So definitely a lot of anime influence that comes into that. It's like the singer Kyle Anderson. He goes by the Demon King, and that's like it has a really strong anime feel to a lot of it, like really dark anime. And I love that. And they're also really good dudes, super cool dudes. He also streams and does like video games, plays a lot of Counter Strike.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure he'll probably see this because he watches my stupid ass stories sometimes.
Oh,
But they're all really good dudes.
okay. What was your first intro to like the scene? Because my first concert was with Sleeping Sirens or Sleeping Alexandria.
Oh, Asking Alexander.
Actually, yes, that was
Yeah.
one when they did Abandon All Ships. They had a concert down in
I
South
heard
Texas.
they were really good live. I've never seen them live.
No, they were extremely fun. And then even after the show, they were meeting everyone that was
He's
there.
got an insane vocal range. Like he is insane. Well, I don't know if you saw them with Danny or with the skinny guy.
This was back in 2011.
Oh shit, it might have been the tiny dude.
Yeah.
Not it was, Danny's like brownish red hair.
No, it wasn't.
So it was the little tiny guy.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he's talented too. But yeah, I won't get into all of that. But they're all good.
My first show was that I can remember was at the White Rabbit, and it was the Punkorama.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That was your first
Wow.
show.
That was my first show.
Man, my first show was not that wild. It was 1997.
Oh, okay.
It was Bush, the
Oh, yeah.
Razor Blade Suitcase tour. My dad brought me there, and I remember it was me and my brother and my dad. And my brother's like, "What's that smell?" And my dad turns, he's like, "That's marijuana, son." And that's the thing that I remember the most.
Yeah.
And then also someone was like throwing their beer around, and we got beer spilled on us, and we were like not used to that because we were like not like party kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Like we wouldn't go to like things with our parents, or because my dad was just like, I'm not gonna bring you that, but my parents were just getting divorced, and he's like, I want to be a cool dad, like. And so he was like, I don't want my kids to hate me, so like.
I'm gonna do what they want.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know who Bush was. I was just like, I want to go see a show, and it was with Bush, and opening up for them was Veruca Salt.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah. And it was a really, really good show. And after that, and to this day, Bush is still my favorite band.
Hey, because of the nostalgia.
Not just the nostalgia, but like just this. I don't know what it. Maybe it is nostalgia because Gavin Rossdale, like I really, really do like his voice. But on top of that, I think that his writing style is absolutely absurd. It's insane. It's just stupid. Like the things that he says and writes, like they make no fucking sense. And I kind of like that. I'm like, dude, this guy just doesn't even care. He just like, all right, skin, raspberry lime, and all right, I'm falling off. And then that's it. And then he just repeats the same word over and over. And then you're like, fucking instant classic. Like, so he can say mouth 27 times in a row. And then people are like, hell yeah, I like werewolves. So yeah, it was a good show.
That's badass.
But I didn't go into an actual metal show until probably Killswitch Engage.
Ooh,
Uh,
that's a good one.
And I was in high
one of
school.
my favorites.
2003 Ozfest.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually I saw a metal show before that. I went to what is that one? The Warped Tour.
Oh, I went to.
okay.
Oh my god, I got
Yeah.
It was 2001, 2002. I went to Warped Tour, and it was Avenged Sevenfold, My Chemical Romance, and I'd never even knew who My Chemical Romance was. And I was just like, "What the fuck is this emo shit?" And then I heard it, and I was like, "This is actually fucking good." Okay, I'm gonna go listen to this when I get home. I'm gonna go on what was that, LimeWire?
Yeah,
I'm gonna get on LimeWire, and I'm gonna get this shit on my fucking Windows 98 PC. So
Yeah, we waited the whole 30 minutes.
yeah, just click the button and then you hear like, yeah. It's like, all right, so I'm gonna go do something else for about an hour, and my song will be ready amongst many other malware bytes, and you know,
Viruses.
yeah. My parents come home and it's just like, you know, see how fast you can come, and they're like, what the fuck? And it's like, ah, shit. It wasn't me. My brother did it, and he's like, and my brother listened to totally different music than I did.
Oh really?
Yeah, oh yeah. He listened to like boy band groups and stuff like Boys to Men and like 98 Degrees, NSYNC. So my parents would know it was me
Yeah.
because I was the little shithead, and my brother was like the good kid.
Yeah.
So they would know. They're all like, "What's this? What is this?" They listen to it and immediately. They're all like, "Oh, this is Drew. Yeah, this little fucking." That was because we all had that family computer when we were
Oh
growing
yeah,
up.
there was always
Oh,
That the one computer in the house that, you know.
use and everything.
And then you'd be like, wait.
Where's it,
and then
man?
like, oh
Yeah. Like when everyone leaves and you're a teenage boy, yeah, that we all know that. But we're not gonna talk about that. There's,
We didn't know about browser history back then.
good thing nobody else did either. Nobody else did either. There was a very small few, and those are the people that are rich off of Bitcoin. 5 years ago, or like 2 years ago, they were rich off Bitcoin. Now they're like,
what do I do with it?
yeah, everything dropped down again. Did y'all do the Dogecoin thing?
I did it, man, because like I was always hesitant about that stuff. I was just like, you know what, and it sucks because like you want to jump in. Is it gonna be good or not? But then you're just like, I just don't want to be one of those dudes where everything just crashes on you.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
made quite a bit of money.
This
on
one
it.
did, yeah.
I made quite a bit of money on it.
I had like $40,000
Yeah.
from just Dogecoin,
Yes.
and then
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't cash it in, and it dropped down to less than $2,000.
Oh, it's the market. That's the thing.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm just gonna sit on it, and then it's like whatever.
Yeah.
See if it goes.
Because I initially did that with my 401k because I did it myself.
Yeah, dude, you went in.
Yeah. Well, no, I did.
It's like,
It's gone. Yeah. But it was like, because they had somebody managing it for me. But then I was like, man, this seems like something I can do. So I just looked into the stocks that I was purchasing. And I was like, man, I want to go really aggressive into it. And then I just put in what I thought in my head, the brands and marketing that is doing well right now. So I threw everything into those. And then it skyrocketed. So when it shot up, so I had $3,000 in, and then I made 30 grand within a month,
Holy shit.
and then I pulled out. Just
Mhm.
that's it. I
Yeah.
stopped it. Yeah. But then I
There's a lot
got
of phrasing.
yeah.
Yeah.
but then I got taxed like $10,000 though to pull it
Yeah,
out.
Yeah,
of course.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin does a lot of that stuff, but he was more into like the NFTs, and he made so much money, and I'm not gonna go into how much money he was making, but they were like, you have to be so careful. Yes, that they
yeah.
will get you for the taxes. It's
Oh,
insane,
yes.
especially for like crypto stuff. It was like 30% if you don't hold it for over like a year.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, because you want to catch it at the high, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause,
Yeah, of
you know what I
course.
mean? So it's just like,
But the thing is, you technically can cash it and then put it into something a little bit less like high yielding, like something a little bit more stable,
Mm.
and then just get it later after a year. Just leave it in there. But that I didn't know that back then, so I should have just done that.
yeah.
And a matter of fact, I think what I made money off of was orange juice and pork byproducts.
Huh.
Yeah, I heard like there was a gimmick behind that actually sells very well. I was like, fuck it, I threw it in and it worked.
Holy shit.
Orange juice
It's in pork.
pork.
I mean,
It worked.
the industry,
I mean, in America, for both of those things are absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
Like dairy, pork, orange juice,
eggs were,
obviously.
like,
Yeah, well,
expensive.
technically, I think like eggs is part of dairy.
Yeah.
But that industry is horrible. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And that's not even from like, because I'm a vegetarian, but I'm not
Mhm.
an ethical vegetarian. I just do it because my tummy aches.
You
But realistically, I mean, it's just a horrible industry, man.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But we don't have to go into that.
Yeah.
That's not cool and nerdy.
I know, right? Oh, okay.
We got political. Sorry.
Well, then, fuck. Let's get back into it then. What was the first anime tattoo that you did?
Holy shit. That's a tough one because I might be forgetting something,
Yeah.
but
What's the most memorable?
Yeah.
King of the Hill.
Really?
Yeah, I call
Really?
that's Texas anime.
Texas.
Yeah.
Texas anime,
yeah.
When I went to Arlington, I was trying to do King of the Hill tattoos only, and nobody was biting. I was like, "What is this place? You guys aren't fun at all." The most memorable tattoo that I think I've ever done, like as far as not coming from an emotional connection to the client, was probably the first one that comes to mind, and it's not even anime. Is this Lilith tattoo that I did from Diablo 4.
Yeah.
And it's like I have it on my highlights. It's like one of the first on my page,
Mm.
and it was probably one of the tattoos out of my top 10. I would think like it's one I'm most proud of.
Yeah.
And it was an anime, so it was completely different, and nobody was really doing that character at the time because it was just kind of new. It just came out, and I think there's just wasn't a lot of people that were like super invested in the game quite yet.
Yeah.
Because we did it before the game came out.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, it blew up, but then
man.
now it's like
Yeah.
nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get into how Blizzard ruins every game they touch.
Oh, man. But that's the thing with some games where it's just like they'll have their moments and then it's the next game. Let's get it rolling out.
Yeah,
And then it's
there's
like-
certain games that hold on, that
They do.
really hold on. Like Overwatch held for a while.
Mhm.
And honestly, it probably would have kept on going had they just did a DLC instead of Overwatch 2 and then ruin that game. And now they won't even support it.
Yeah.
So it's so fucking stupid.
That was
Yeah.
like Destiny. Destiny was like forever.
God.
My
Yeah.
God, dude.
Destiny 1 was really good.
Mhm.
Yes, and I spent like
Hours. Yeah, I spent hours on
the
it.
money,
Yeah.
yes, the
Yeah,
money on
Oh,
all
like
the
the new
DLCs.
seas and stuff like that.
Oh my
Yeah.
I would show up late to work. When I was working at that pharmacy, I would show up late to work because I was in the middle of a raid and I'm like, Crota's got to die.
Yeah.
Like, I can't leave. I'm sorry.
Did you unplug it?
Huh? Oh, yes, we
I
did
did
that. We
too.
did that 1 or 2 times. That's yeah. You lag switch fucking Crota, and then he can't fucking move, and everyone just like rocket launchers his ass and Gallahorns him into
The
fucking dust.
Gallahorn, yes.
Yeah, that was a fucking cool raid, and I heard they were bringing it back. I don't know if they already did, but
Oh, wow.
because it was like after the Witch Queen, they were like
Mhm.
saying, "Oh, we're gonna bring it back as a DLC for Destiny 2."
What was the name of that rocket launcher that it was like bluish hue, gray kind of color, and it would track.
Oh, it would follow you around.
Yeah.
Fuck. I think it started with like a D or something. I know which one you're talking about, but it's like it follows you everywhere you go.
Yeah.
I hated that shit in PvP.
Oh yeah, because you could shoot it up, and it would just go.
yeah.
Yeah, and people use that shit all the time to hit you around corners,
Mhm.
and it was so annoying because I would play in Destiny 1. I was playing the Hunter. That was my
Yeah.
main, and going like invisible and waiting to like because I would do a lot of Trials of Osiris, super sweaty PvP crap. And then people are just like, oh, as soon as the heavy round comes in, they're like, oh, free round for us because we're all using this fucking tracking thing. And it's like, I could use it, but I want to use this other gun. Like, come on,
Yeah.
like let's just have some fun here. But no, people are just all meta players. So.
Yeah, I was more of a sword guy.
Oh, when that came
yeah,
out. Swords are
yeah.
dope.
Once the swords came out, I was like, "Let's go."
This when they brought those like scythe things out,
Oh,
the spears
yeah.
and shit, that was
Yeah.
pretty sick too.
I remember a buddy of mine was laughing at me because I forgot to mute my mic, and I would talk so much shit about the Gallahorn, like it's not that good or whatever. And I did one of the trials, and I got it as a drop, and I meant to turn it off, and I got up and I was like, "Fuck yes, yes!" And then I hear him, he's like, "I hear you, motherfucker." You talking all that shit, now you got one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah.
I'll talk shit all day about something, but if it's actually good, I'm like, fuck it, that was cool. I'm glad I
I take it back.
Damn,
Sight.
man.
I mean, if I have to use it, I'll use it. Whatever. And like, no big deal. There's a lot of good weapons in that game though.
I know, man. And it's just like
Iconic stuff.
They really need to bring back. I feel like a little bit more of the classic from Destiny 1.
When they fixed the class system in
Mhm.
Destiny 2 to be more like Destiny 1, where you can pick and choose things,
Mhm.
that I feel like that brought a lot of people back.
Yeah.
But is it going to fix what they ruined throughout so many like years? It's like probably not.
Man, I actually don't play it now because I actually was addicted to it. So
I feel that.
yeah, I would come home and then my kids were there and I should have been watching my kids, but my ex was there watching the kids. So then I'd be with my headset on and then I'm like, yeah, I'll be there. You know what I mean? And then I'm in the raid and then I'm like, I look at the clock and I'm like, oh shit, it's 3 a.m. Well, I ain't gonna sleep.
Like I can just. It's fine. I don't have a lot going on tomorrow.
Just
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. But for us, it was always like if we're doing like PvP stuff, it was like just one more, and someone will be like just one more, and then another person just one more, guys, come on, just one more. And then you find out it's like 3 a.m. and everyone's like, okay, maybe that was the last one. It's like, but we can't end it on a loss. Like we gotta, you know, and that's that addiction. The dopamine is pumping hard, and you're like, I just need to get my fix, and then I can go to sleep.
Especially the snipers, man.
Oof.
If they had a sniper in their
Mhm.
team, oh, it was just
I
a
like that.
nightmare.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like the snipers, but I hated that they made it so that you can basically quick scope and one shot people.
Oh yeah, you just.
Yeah, it was really annoying for a while there. Because there was this one sniper that tracked people like way better, and then if you're using controller, then it's also a lot of aim assist,
Yes.
and so
Yeah.
you just see people just like aim and you're here, and then they just go, and then I was like, oh, cool, I guess that happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I guess I'm dead, and I gotta watch you guys play for the next 30 minutes. It's about everyone inches towards each other and inches over here and then inches over here, and I'm like a rusher kind of player. I'm too impatient for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much fun.
The one I got myself got addicted to was some Elden Ring.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that. The amount of hours I had into Elden Ring.
Like that one is
Embarrassing.
like if you just loved punishment and just
Oh yeah, I had like 8 playthroughs going. My death count, I had so many fucking like fingers and like oh man, I killed so many motherfuckers. Like the stupid ass bleed builds. Everyone coming in with their rivers of blood, and I just like sidestep them and fucking put them on that pike and hold them up, and they get madness and start spraying that shit out of their face. I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Like that's what you get for being a meta player. Like
Dude,
you
I
know,
know the bleed was so annoying.
as soon as they
You know,
fucking
I was
fixed
also
it,
a
it was
Madness
just
one. I fucking loved
Madness
it,
was.
dude.
Oh.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Man, did you get into that one or?
No, I was more of a first person shooter, if not like a third person shooter like Dead Space.
I never played Dead Space.
Oh.
I watched a buddy stream it a little bit.
You need to
Play, yeah, get that remastered, man. Yeah, get that remastered.
Yes.
Complete darkness in your room, and just
Yeah, it is. Matter of fact, they're re-releasing it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I might have to
So
stream that.
good.
Yeah.
I'm not a jumpy person,
Mhm.
but I want to be.
Yeah.
Like
I
you know what
know.
I mean, I'm not a super like jump scares don't really get me,
Mhm.
but I feel like if I get got by one, I got by one. Actually, we were playing Devour. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's
Yes, yeah.
and when you get caught, it like turns the camera real quick towards the creature that grabs you, and it's out of nowhere, and then they scream in your face. I was the first one to get caught, and I think someone clipped it on Twitch. Don't go watch it. And I screamed. Yeah, I was just like, whoa, like you know, an actual scream. It's so funny to watch Cruz play that though. He's another tattooer, and dude,
Oh, okay.
he gets scared so easy, and it's like, fuck yeah, I love it.
I want to be like that,
Yeah, I would be.
like because I've gone,
Mhm.
I've gone to like the haunted houses.
The haunted houses, though, like,
and
you
then
already
I'm
know
like,
what to
I already
expect.
know, like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because I come from watching horror movies since I can remember.
yeah.
So it's like the stuff
You already
doesn't.
kind of know what's
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't bother me.
When they
Jump out with a chainsaw, you're like, oh, actually, that's pretty dope. But like,
Yeah.
you're like, you're looking at it, and you're like, that's cool, but I'm not really scared.
Yeah, there's no chain on there.
Yeah, no chain.
Yeah. So like I think the man, and I hate to say it, the one that got me was Boogeyman. Yeah, it came out like last year. I was with my kids.
Okay.
And it's all jump scare, and it's not even that
Mm.
scary, but just it just caught me off guard, and I was like, ew. I was like, oh, it got me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the one that really got me that I always remember was I was watching. Everybody was asleep, and it was before big screen TVs. But we had a big like tube kind of like TV, you know, big wide TV, whatever. And I was like, I want to watch Amityville Horror. I haven't seen it in a while.
Mm.
Yeah, and then so it had a,
Amityville. Is that the one with
the dude, the father kills the whole family.
Yeah.
Was that Ryan Reynolds or
that was the remake.
that was the remake?
Yeah.
Which I personally felt he did a good job with that one.
Yeah, it was good.
And you get to see him without a shirt on, so
Yeah, of course.
super important
Yeah.
for plot. It's for plot. Yeah.
But there was one scene, but because there was a jack in the TV, so I had my headphones on, right? And that's how old it was. I had a wired headphone set, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was sitting there, I was watching it, and it was a scene where the daughter's talking to her imaginary friend, and the mom comes in, and she's like, "Who are you talking to?" And she's like, "I was talking to my best friend or whatever." And she's like, "Oh, okay." She was playing along. The mom was playing along. She's like, "Where'd she go?" And she's like, "She went out the window." So she goes to the window and she looks outside, and then you see this face, and it's like these glowing red eyes, and then it's like a pig's face, but it like it
just comes out?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Ooh!" And then I was like,
yeah, just checking around.
You know the last movie that scared me so much, so much to the point where like I felt like I couldn't be like home alone. You know, when The Ring first came out, I went and saw it in theaters,
yeah,
and I went and saw it with a couple of friends. And I remember there was a few parts in the movie where I was just like I'm actually cursed. Like I'm actually cursed. Like this is fucking insane. Like it just felt
because
so.
you're watching it.
Yeah, and it just felt so real. But I go home, right? And no one's home. It's just I go into my mom's room and I'm trying to find the weed that she confiscated from me a while back.
Yeah.
And I was like looking around in her room for it, going through drawers and shit. And she had her TV set to a timer to record her television show at 11 a.m. But she accidentally set it to 11 p.m. And so it's like, you know, one of those timers that they used to have back in the day for TVs, and you
Yeah.
just like wind it up and it ticks down to the time and then it turns on the power.
Yeah.
So I didn't know she didn't pay the bill for the TV. So we had no cable at the time.
Yeah.
And so the TV just turns on as I'm looking and it goes,
The static.
yeah. And I look back at the TV and the scream I scrummed, oh my God, like you would have been like, oh, my neighbors probably thought that there was like a 14-year-old girl like being assaulted. And so I ran out of that room. I ran downstairs. I turned on all the lights, and I'm just like looking for things. Like I'm like trying to get salt, and I'm like, "Is there a crucifix in here?" Like I was just freaking out. And I'm not a religious guy, but Jesus, I was looking for Jesus.
In that moment, you're like,
Yeah, it's like, oh God, Tom Cruise, save me with your voodoo. Like just something. It was a lot. That was the worst experience I think I've had with that. Yeah.
I think for me though, the one I was most disappointed in was the remake of Friday the 13th.
I never saw it.
Don't watch it.
I think I did. I might.
Yeah, only because the first Friday the 13th was more horror, obviously with more comedy
Yeah.
right afterwards. So it's like, oh, they're remaking it and they're bringing that back.
Jason in space.
No, dude, no,
X.
yeah, it's Jason
Jason
X.
Sounds famous, right?
Yeah. But yeah, man, I was so disappointed because I loved the actor, I loved his voice, and it was just like, all right,
Robert England.
yes,
Yeah.
dude. It was like, yes, let's get this horror. And I was like, there hasn't been a really good horror in a while. But man, it was just everything was getting set up, and you already knew what was gonna happen. There was really no like curve to the story. It was just you already knew. I can like guess it every 5 minutes. Like that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen, and that's gonna happen.
Honestly,
Horror movies aren't what they used to be.
I know.
And on top of that,
so sad.
the only ones that are really, really good are the ones that
Terrifier.
go. Terrifier is a good slasher. It is a really good slasher.
But there's no CGI. which I love.
Yeah, it goes into classic slasher genre,
Yeah.
and I really, really like that it really doesn't take itself too serious either.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of people, when they make these horror movies, it becomes cringy because it's just like they take it way too serious.
yeah.
But when you see things like Hereditary,
Oh.
and it changes something in your inside of you, like the story of King Paimon already on its own is
Yeah.
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Love like the greater keys of Solomon, the lesser keys of Solomon, all that dark weird shit. I love it. But yeah, when they like all the little like Easter eggs they put in that and the dark, the really really dark nature of it,
Yeah.
it was a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
That one and another one I really liked was The Witch.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that one?
It's like WITTCH or
Yeah,
something like that.
like-
It's or T.
Like-
It sounds.
Yeah.
It's got the girl from that chess game thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember what her name is.
Yeah, the one with the one that's like
From Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, Queen's Gambit.
Yeah. She's really good though. And then that really deep voice guy, her dad, like,
Yeah.
and he's always in like he even voice acted in Diablo.
Oh, okay, yeah. The one that's in the commercials too, or no, not that one. No,
I don't think so.
no. Yeah, but I know which deep voice you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy.
Dude, he's got a very archaic deep
Yeah.
voice, so it's really cool. But yeah, movies like that, I can dig that because it makes you feel like uncomfortable,
Yes.
and that discomfort like stays with you for a little while.
Yeah.
And clearly we're talking about it, so I mean, it
Yeah.
affected us, you know.
Mhm.
And so there was another one. I don't know if you've seen it, but it wasn't like insane, but I really really liked it. The Ritual.
The Ritual. Yeah.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
Wendigo.
Yeah. Yeah.
That one, I love that one.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like particularly like amazing,
Nobody talks.
but
about
it was a
that.
trip.
Yeah. It was.
It was like kind of like, man, like it felt like that's something that could happen to you and your guy friends when you're like doing something. So you're
Yeah.
just like, that feels real, you know. And also I love like Native American lore that's mixed into I think it was not Nordic, but what would you call it? Is this like Loki?
It's Nordic.
Is that Nordic? Yeah. Would that be called Nordic?
That's the Rainbow Bridge.
That's Norse. Yeah,
Norse.
Yeah.
That's the word. So yeah, mixing that like into that lore, it just felt really, I don't know, fucking cool. That was really it. That's the best way I can put it. It felt fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of Native American lore is not really explored a lot. And then if you read into it, you're like, oh man, there's some crazy stuff in
A lot
here.
of pop culture uses it, but you don't realize that that's like from Native American lore,
Yes.
and you're just like, holy shit, that's
Yeah.
fucking sick. And they have some creepy shit.
They do, man.
Well, that's funny that you said that because you brought up Lilith. Have you
Yeah.
ever studied the where that name comes from?
Lilith, like
The original Eve, the first one.
yeah,
the wife of Satan kind of.
Well, she became
the wife.
yeah because she was created equal as Adam, but then because she had a mind of her own, Adam basically told on her to God,
Yeah.
and then she was banished.
Mhm.
So she wandered the land out of Eden, and then that's when the devil
Yeah.
approached her, and then he said, "I'll treat you like a queen." So then he got with her, but then she took a demonic form because of him,
Mhm.
and then in Judaism, that's actually the reason they cut off the foreskin, is because she hates boys so much that she would kill them. That if they thought in their mind that if you cut off the foreskin, it looks more like a man's penis.
Mhm.
So that's why they cut off the foreskin.
Mhm.
That's all from Lilith.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to my mom for getting me circumcised.
It's handsome.
Yeah. And then she became the mother of witches, right? Something like that. Lilith. Yeah, that's pretty much where it comes from
yeah.
too, right? Yeah.
That's pretty dope. I didn't know that. But I also don't know a whole lot because I was raised Catholic and I went to Catholic school and all that, but I don't know the real like Christian lore. You know? Because that's not something they teach you.
Yeah.
That's something that you have to learn
exactly.
on your own. And that's like Old Testament. Like that's not something that they're like, oh yeah, body of Christ.
Yeah.
These three kings.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, that's
Yeah.
like that's some real shit. So that's cool. I like that.
I know the Norse, like, and they had their mythology is so creative, but it's so different from like everyone else.
And it's dark.
And it's dark. Like there's one where it's like we're living like the world. It's like it's on a turtle. Was it a turtle or the head of a giant? It was something like that.
There's different views.
There's different views to it, and it's just like how that came up about. But they said a lot of the stories is because nothing was ever written. It was always like
Told.
it was told.
Yeah.
So people were like, oh, it's kind of like
It gets lost in
yeah,
translation.
lost in translation, like telephone kind of
Sure.
the game, you know. But like for me, it's like, well, that made it interesting regardless. Like to come in,
Yeah.
It was a lot of tales. That's the
Yeah.
thing that I like about a lot of mythology is they're tales, and they don't necessarily have like a moral.
Mhm.
And that's the thing with like a lot of like these stories that people give for Catholicism or what New Age Catholicism is they try to give you a moral to it, like
Mhm.
be good or be this or be that. But their stories weren't about morals because the gods that were depicted in them actually like personified these morals. So even if the story was bad, you had a personification of evil that was involved in the story, and it doesn't tell you don't do this. It just means these are consequences. Are you okay with this?
Mhm.
And sometimes you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So that to me is like it's very very visceral, and I can connect to that realism.
Yeah.
So I like it, and that's like why I got this like Viking runes and stuff. Like
Mhm.
this. Well, this is a helm of awe. Technically, it's just like a protection thing.
What's
Yeah.
those the two stripes?
The two stripes?
Yeah.
That's for how many people I've murdered. No, I'm just kidding. No, no.
Actually, they used to
Mhm.
in Japan. They used to
Yeah,
mark
that'd
thieves.
be
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 This was when I was doing this thing before, like a rogue thing for what was that? Ren Fair, and then I had they would draw the lines on me, and I thought they were so cool, and then I got them. There was yeah, and I was like 19 when I did it. And so and then I found out the thing is like marked as a thief kind of thing, and I was like, oh, that makes sense for a rogue. That's why they did it. I didn't know that. And I'm like, fuck. But I was like, but I connected it to this, so it was just like fades into it. But I still thought it was like fun. So
Yeah.
Go to Japan and people just be like, oh, they're gonna get holding onto their purses.
They're like, watch out for that white guy.
Yeah.
I hear that
The
they-
white devil.
they don't like tattooed people anyway. So
No, they
Yeah.
don't like like if you go like
You're
you either
ostracized.
you're ostracized, you have to usually cover it up. They said when a foreigner has it, they're like a little. It's not a big of a deal. They'll still be like kind of cautious, but you still wouldn't be allowed like the public onsens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have to go to the one where it's like tattoos only, and it's like you might risk ending up with the yakuza and, and with that. Yeah, or you just get your own private one, and usually that's always more expensive. And it's just like
Absolutely.
But,
Hey, how did they get the one
Yeah.
on your other hand to stay?
this one,
No, well, both. Actually,
Yeah,
both sides.
my Ninja Star.
Yeah.
Um,
In the back.
Cruz did both of these.
Oh, shit.
He did this whole arm.
Wow.
His secret is just fucking hammer away at it. Like, yeah, he is not a
'cause-
light-handed guy, but he knows how to pack it in. Like, and that sounds really bad, but you know,
that's our other podcast.
That's for our fans only.
Yeah.
Only fans. I mean.
man.
I don't want to talk about that. When COVID happened and I couldn't work,
Yeah.
oh man.
Did you do it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it for a little while there. I'm such a poser because I stopped.
I got
So-
offered, but he talked me out of it.
Yeah, like nah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on what career path, but as a tattoo artist, it's like people will be all like, "Oh, cool, like you know, good for you," you know. But yeah, I use Sanoderm, well, Tegaderm, but every day I would change it, and it would keep the abrasion low, and it's like a fake skin that goes over your tattoo.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and I would just keep changing it every single day.
That's a second skin type of shit.
Mhm.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And for this one, I don't know. It just stayed. I mean, I lost some on the side, but not too bad.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it healed up great. Normally palms fall right the fuck
Oh
out.
yes.
Everyone else that got theirs done had some fallout. I didn't have like any fallout.
Dude, how old is that one?
Like a year and a half.
That's really good.
Yeah, and it's not going anywhere.
This is only like 7 months.
Fingers are tough.
Yeah.
Fingers are tough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it just also depends on who your artist is.
Yeah.
He has a lot of like experience doing weird places like necks and heads. Like we call him the throat goat,
Yeah.
and he didn't know what that meant. He
Yeah.
didn't know what that meant, and so he'd go around telling people, "Yeah, everyone calls me the throat goat."
And then the chicks are like, really? Yeah.
And then, but now he owns it. He knows what it means, but he's like, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Like, call me that. I'm not gonna lie. And there's also a thing called like it's tattooer's curse.
Uh-huh.
If you tattoo, tattoos hurt you more.
Oh, really?
okay.
Never heard of that.
Yeah.
Can you
Wow,
explain
It's
it?
got to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's just basically what it is. Like, what
Just
you
a
said.
curse, yeah, just a
Yeah.
curse. Like, and, like every tattooer doesn't get tattooed well. Like,
Yeah.
there's only one tattooer I know personally that gets tattooed well,
Yeah.
and this guy Jason Elliott. Like, he gets fucking tattooed so well. He just sits there like a rock, and he doesn't give a fuck. But everyone else that I know as a tattooer is just like, you know, that's just how it is. Like, I hate getting tattooed.
Yeah.
I love having them, but I hate getting it done. Like, I'll be like before the appointment, be like, "Hey, man, can I numb this shit?" And they're like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Shh, don't tell anyone. Don't fucking tell anybody, man." But you know, it is what it is. I try not to be like judgy or anything like that because my clients all sit super fucking good. Like, I rarely have any like clients that are wiggly or whiny or anything like that. Most of
That
them
means you got a good.
Yeah,
touch.
you got a good like.
you would think so, but I've heard from some clients that have gotten tattooed by other friends of mine
Uh,
that mine is like in the medium ground, that I can be a little heavy sometimes.
Oh, really?
But I think it's also, you know, the tattoo community in general, you're going to get a lot of people that are in there like kind of wanting tattoos. But you get anime people, like they really got to want it to want to put like an anime character on them forever.
Yeah.
They really want it.
Yeah.
So there's a level of desire and passion that is there that even if it does hurt, they don't care
Yeah.
Yeah.
because they're there for a reason.
Exactly.
Rather than
Exactly.
somebody who's just trying to like fill up the space or
Yeah.
like they're just like, "Oh man, I just want a sick wolf tat, bro." Like, you know, things like that. And there's nothing
Yeah.
against sick wolf tats. You know,
Yeah.
they're awesome. But and oh, I might be getting back into neo-trad.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to do neo-traditional and now I do only anime. But
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to get back into neo-trad because I miss doing like lady faces,
Mhm.
reapers, and things like that. So I think I might want
Okay.
to try that again.
Do you get? Because I know traditional in general in any traditional tattoos, there's a lot of rules, so specific ones.
Oh, yeah.
It is not really so much. There's more leniency into.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if there's not, I just make it.
Because it's still relatively like.
Yeah, if anyone says anything, I'll be like, grow up. You know?
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If, it, like the only time that I feel like it matters is if it has like a historical background to culture.
Mhm.
But traditional tattooing, I don't feel like it has like anybody's nationality, culture, or anything like that.
Mhm.
So you're not like disrespecting a people. You're not
Mhm.
disrespecting a people. You're just disrespecting an art form. And in that case, it's subjective, and it's at your discretion to disrespect it. That's like me saying like I don't like cubism, and someone being like "fuck you," and it's like
Yeah.
What? Like I just don't like it. So I'm not a huge traditional person. So for me, the rules don't really apply. I feel like if you're in that life and you are really trying to portray that as your art form, then by all means, like, you know, follow it to a T. But that's
Mhm.
just not who I am.
Yeah, you gotta find your tattoo artist that does. Like I know there's American traditional tattooing.
Japanese
Yeah,
traditional.
Japanese traditional. You know,
There's even like Indian traditional.
Mhm.
And they
Is that polka? Oh,
trash polka
Trash polka,
is German.
Oh, okay.
But that's more like Banksy kind of stuff, where it's like almost like graffiti art.
Mm-hmm.
I have some of that on this arm up here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not good.
Well, what was your most painful one?
My most painful tattoo.
Yeah.
Other than the palm, because the palm was excruciating. My knee. Let me see if I can pull this up high enough. But I got this like Leviathan cross,
Yeah.
and yeah, right here. I did it to myself. I tattooed myself. This one.
Mm-hmm.
My knees are super ashy, but I lined it and I was like, "Fuck, that hurts." And the guy that I was working with at the time, he was in the next booth tattooing. He goes, "You're gonna color it in?" And I'm like, "I wasn't planning on it." And he's like, "Don't be a bitch." I'm like, "Fuck."
What did they say that?
Yeah. And I was like sweating. It was like so painful. I was sweating. Like the shin, not so bad, but like right under the knee, that's like a bundle of nerves right there. That's where like the reflex is. So yeah, it's kind of like the elbow. It's like the elbow hurts, but I still think the knee is way worse.
Mhm.
But you know, I'm not a good testament to the pain because my tolerance is low when it comes to tattooing. Like elective pain, I don't do well. But if I were to stub my toe or cut myself while I'm sharpening a knife or something like that, it's just like, oh, I guess that happened. Whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
It's more of a mental thing, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm electing to have the pain, there's no way around it. I don't know. I just can't. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I chose this and I hate it.
Yeah.
But if I like do it by accident, it's just like a surprise, and my body's like, oh,
Yeah.
shit happens, you know.
Oof.
I was actually telling him and a couple of people, I have a tendency to fall asleep on my tattoos.
Yeah, I don't.
Because it's like the way I perceive it is like a mind over matter. So I just kind of put my thinking, my thought process somewhere else, and then I no longer feel the pain, and then I just focus on dark, just quiet, and then they're waking me up,
That's
and
like
I'm like
meditation.
drooling.
Yeah.
It's like meditation.
Exactly. That's all it is.
That sounds like meditation.
Yeah.
I've only had like one client fall asleep on me.
Really?
Yeah, and he farted so loud when he was in his sleep. Yeah.
What'd you do with
There's
that?
I've had so many clients fart, and not
Really?
in their sleep, just like in general. Yeah, they're just like, yeah.
Is that a common thing?
It can be, yeah, because there's a lot of tensing up.
So they're like, ooh, and then like
I was
sleep
tattooing
off.
this one girl, and she farted, and I looked at her, and she just goes, "Oh, that was a fart."
She did not care.
And oh no, she didn't care at all. And I was just like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "What else would it have been? Like, what were you afraid of?" Exactly. Like, were you thinking I was scared that some air entered your vaginal cavity and then exited swiftly? Like, I wasn't thinking that. But you know, whatever. It's just. Sorry about that. Yeah. Well.
Well, that would have been worse for you.
Yeah.
That would've been a clean
A coughing vagina is definitely a lot worse. We're not gonna like imagine that.
Right?
But yeah, like it is pretty common when clients would fart. And I wouldn't say like 1 out of every 10. It's less than that. But I'd say it's common enough to where it happens at least like maybe once a month.
Oh,
Okay.
What was the rowdiest or weirdest suggestion that they wanted that you've done?
For a tattoo?
Yes.
This girl wanted me to tattoo a vagina on her arm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like
for a
like
specific
here?
reason?
Yeah, like a cartoon vagina, like on her arm.
Oh, yeah.
She just thought that it was cool. And she would just be like playing with the little clit and stuff and just like playing with the skin and stuff. And I was just like, okay, I'll fucking do. She had so many tattoos. It wasn't like she had her face tattooed already too.
Oh, okay.
I've tattooed a butthole before.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen that.
I've seen
Yeah.
the ones where too, where it's like the cat for the belly button, like
Yeah.
where it's
Oh,
like,
No, somebody's butthole. I tattooed on someone's butthole.
Oh,
Yeah. They had to like basically like face down, ass up, like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the way I like to fuck.
Yeah, that's yeah. And that was horrible. But I mean, the
Charge
person
extra for that? Like I would have charged a little extra.
yes and no. Like
Mhm.
I charge more what's considered like a handling fee, like tattooing genitals.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's male or female.
You call it a
Handling fee.
Yeah.
That's funny. There's a little handling fee because I gotta handle that.
Yeah, you gotta touch
Yeah.
somebody's
Yeah.
Nuts.
stuff. I've never tattooed a dick, but
Yeah, okay.
I had a bassist in an old band I was in who got his dick
Mhm.
tattooed, and he kept on was just like anytime he got a chance he would show everyone. And I'm like, wow, that's really cute. Looks kind of like a penis, only smaller.
All right. So, but for the butthole, because I know when people get tattoos, you generally shave. You know what I mean? 'Cause
them to do it first.
yeah, okay. I was like, if you're gonna do that for them too.
Fair. Also, she was an adult film actress.
Oh,
So she was
probably
already
trimmed.
she was already prepped, and she everything was
Okay.
clean, and like the
Bleached, probably.
no
No.
no bleaching, not as far as I know, but it wasn't like all discolored or anything like that. I'm sorry if you're watching this and talking about it. She doesn't care, but we're not gonna name names at least. But the out of like being respectful and stuff, we also have like dental bibs, and then you're covering up the genitals anyways. So there's no like private parts showing. It's not like her vag is right in my face, and I'm just like
Yeah.
trying to work, just like, oh god, like you know. So it wasn't a problem at all.
What about smells? I know this.
No, nothing at all. Yeah, I mean, as long as obviously as long as they clean their butthole, like like people always say when you're in the shower, make sure you wash your fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like, don't just let the water drip down there, and like throughout the day, like use baby wipes. Use some baby wipes. You know, especially as guys, we got hairy fucking cheeks that are pressed together and holding bacteria. Keep it fucking clean, like, you know, like that smell emanates onto your balls, and that's why you can't fucking get a girlfriend. I'm just saying, like, anime community, wash your fucking nutsack, wash your asshole.
No, it's always embarrassing. Like, oh, I'm a guy who goes to conventions and stuff. Like, oh, you probably smell like not me, but I hate being in line between two dudes. Yeah,
Literally smell like a crop dust.
yeah.
Like, that's just what they smell like. So yes, yeah, like it'll go so long. Like, my grandfather always told me, if as long as you smell good, you are above 60% of the male population. That's all you got to do. Smell good, and women will like you already.
Yeah.
That's it. You smell good. What I used to do is I would keep a dryer sheet in my shirt pocket. A lot of my,
slick.
and I wouldn't wear cologne. I would just wash my body, put a dryer sheet in. You smell like laundry.
Yeah.
Someone comes in to give you a hug. You're not overpowering. You don't smell like pheromones from some fucking like weird animal in Afghanistan or something. Like, I don't know where they get that shit from, but you're not.
Please.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
smell like something. You smell like you, but just clean.
Clean.
People appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times guys will use too much cologne and then they put it on top of their stink, and then you just smell like balls and cologne.
Balls in cologne.
And like, you know, this is important knowledge, okay? You know, you just got a little tiny bit of self-care goes so long with, like, you know, attracting people.
Yeah.
Not just women, not just, you know, male partners, whatever you're into,
Yeah.
anybody. You know, people like good smelling people.
Yeah.
You ever have someone with bad breath coming right in your ear and they're trying to tell you a secret, or you're at a show and they're screaming at you and it smells like they just ate like a can full of shit?
Yeah.
Like, and you're just like, bro, like, stop talking to me. Like, you're not even listening to what they're saying anymore.
Yeah.
You just can't wait for them to be away from you. So, and that's how that feels when someone stinks and they're next to you. It's different. Like, if you're dating somebody and there's like a little BO and then you smell it and you're all like, oh, I like the way you smell. You know, you're smelling like your
sometimes,
girl or your guy or whatever. And then they got a good stink to them and you're just like, ooh, like, you know, you're clean, but you got a little bit of, like, you know,
Musk.
yeah, a little spice. A little spice to you. Yeah, someone just fucking a little sprinkled a little
Yeah.
allspice, a little meat seasoning. So, and that's fine. That's different. But you're still clean. Like, you know, just, you know, take care of yourself.
Yeah, we definitely need to get this like stigma away from the anime community because
Absolutely.
you know
Comic books, anime, all the nerdy guys, they're just like, they smell bad. And
Yeah.
a lot of them do though.
they do, man. And I feel bad sometimes for the voice actors. The guy do that all day, and then they take the photos with them and
They
something.
wear masks just because of like sickness.
Dude, I bet.
A lot of those voice actors have told me, they're like, I wear them because it keeps the stink out.
Think out. Yeah.
Like, sometimes they'll, inside the mask, they'll have like a dryer sheet or they'll be chewing gum, and just so they can just taste that instead of somebody else's like fucking pungent butt
Yeah.
smells. Yeah.
I know Sean Shamel, he still does that. He's just been wearing the mask the entire time, and it's just like I guarantee it's more than just for
Yeah.
Chloe's stank.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's some stank out there.
Yeah, he's like, y'all guys are yuck.
He's been doing it for a long time too, so it's like, man,
Some tricks.
they do, man.
'Cause I have to work a lot of anime conventions, and there's people that they'll come up and you go to tattoo them, and you go to wash their arm, and it's just like brown coming off.
Oh no!
And you're like, bro, like, what have you been rolling around in?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't at least like wash your arm before you came in. Like, you don't have to
Yeah.
wash the rest of your body, but now I gotta smell this person, and
Now you gotta clean them.
I gotta clean them. Like, I'm just like, I feel like a peasant. It's like a washcloth, and this is like my night, and I'm like, yes, sir, I'll clean you, sir. And
You are cleansed.
now I gotta tattoo you, and then they're all like, oh yeah, here's your tip, and then they give me $3 and a fucking half-eaten crunch wrap, and I'm like, cool, thanks so much. And just to say, tips are not ever expected or needed, but they are appreciated. But if you leave me a $3 tip, I'm offended. Like, that's offensive.
It's more offensive. Than
That's
anything.
offensive. It's like, clearly you need this more than I do. Why don't you fucking keep it? That's only happened to me once though.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, and it was like a boomer. So
Mhm.
you know, you would expect like that's
Yeah.
some boomer behavior.
Yeah.
He's just like, I was like, hey, do you want your change? And it was like $5, and he's like, oh no, that's for you. And I'm like, thanks. Get the fuck out of my shop. I can't stop looking at this painting right here behind you.
Oh, dude, dope, man.
It looks like the Majin Vegeta, like
yeah.
I got this First Friday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have some other art. Matter of fact, I got
Crystal.
this there too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Laser disc. I know you know what that is.
What's that?
The laser discs.
Laser discs. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, where are you gonna play that?
Nowhere.
It's like an 8-track.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. When I've got my first car, had an 8-track player.
Wow. Would
Yeah.
you have a Trans Am or what?
I had an '83 280ZX. It's a Datsun. It was like, yeah, that was my first car. Because I found it in some old lady's garage. Not old lady, sorry. She's older now,
Old
but
yeah.
she had gotten a divorce. She kept the car, and it was her ex-husband's, and it wasn't in great condition. But it was a
Still
standard
is.
transmission.
Oh.
Yeah, and I didn't know how to drive it, so she was just like, "Whenever you can learn, that's when you can take it home." But she only charged me like $1,400 for the thing.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was like my first car.
Those things are so cool.
It was a cool car.
And
Yeah,
they-
and then
they look like
Nissan
all
bought it out.
Futuristic.
Yeah, they have like the eyes, the fair lady eyes.
Yes.
Uh,
You know your Nissans.
Oh yeah. I'm a car guy.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh fuck yeah! I'm like cars, and I brought my motorcycle today, so I'm like into motorcycles. I love that shit.
Yeah, I got an 89 240 with a blacktop Type X SR20 from Australia in it.
Yeah.
It's pushing 450.
The SR20 swap my Miata.
There you go.
I have a F20A one sitting in my house.
Holy shit.
A Honda S2000.
Yeah.
S2000 motor.
Yeah, that would. But I gotta sell a Miata because it's a
Yeah.
project car, and it's fully built and ready to go. It's turbo ready. There's just no turbo on it. I sold the turbo a while back. And
Oh, you had the manifold and everything?
yeah, everything's ready.
Oh, so you just
Like we even ported the freaking the well
What flange did you use? A T3, T4?
fuck. I didn't do that part. That
Oh.
was my mechanic buddy did that.
Okay.
So I don't know which
Yeah.
one.
Those
So
are- those
I'm
are
a
really
poser.
popular. Yeah.
I'm a fucking poser. And I drive a Super now. That's like my daily
Which
driver.
one?
The Mark V.
No.
The BMW.
Yeah.
The BMW, yeah. I love it though. I love it. Yeah.
Wow. You roll like that?
It's expensive.
Wow.
It's expensive. That
Yeah.
the big car payment.
Hey
Yeah.
man, but if you love it, man, it's just
Yeah, it was my midlife crisis.
like,
That was my midlife crisis. I give to myself because I don't usually buy like nice things for me.
Yeah.
Like I dress like a dad, and I just wear the same clothes I've worn for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Like so.
So you're like, fuck it.
Yeah. I decided to splurge and buy something nice for myself, and that was it.
That is a great chassis. That
Oh, yeah.
motor.
It's so much fun to drive too.
It's an inline twin, right? Or if not single, right?
It's an inline 6.
Yeah.
It's the 3.0.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one is. It's a very, very good motor. I will say that. I
Yeah.
love
That's
that.
the
Same variant
Yeah.
that they use in the 335i in the BMW. Yeah,
Okay.
but it's more like more capable now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Toyota tuned it. I
Yeah.
think they're the ones who did all the tuning on it. So, but I got the 2020 model, which is the one that you can flash.
Yeah.
So the ECU is not locked.
Oh.
So I can tune the fuck out of this thing after all I
Yeah.
need is just a downpipe, exhaust, intake, and then we're good.
Yeah.
I can get a solid like probably 60 horsepower just out of just a tune, and then maybe an extra like 20. I could probably get like 100 to the wheels with just maybe like $1,000.
Bolt-ons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like bolt-ons.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I say 1,000, an extra 100. Sorry, for $1,000. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I think.
Well, man, we appreciate. I know, man. We can go hours, bro,
Dude,
with all this
yeah,
stuff. We
seriously,
could.
This conversation.
Yeah, I
is
know.
fucking good.
But as you know, we record.
We didn't touch on as much of the nerdy stuff I was really thinking we were going to touch on, but you know, tangents.
Yeah, we
tangents.
just
Go with it, man. But I mean, as you know, a little behind the scenes trick. We record on our phones, so batteries don't last that long. But man, we appreciate that you came out with us, man. You know what I mean? So we'll definitely have to hit you up again. Talk another 3 hours. You know, we'll get like 8 episodes out. I know it. Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully there'll be some nice little clips you can take out for the gram or
Oh, definitely,
funny
man.
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can put your plugs in, man. Like let them know your Instagram handles and where to find you and all that stuff, man.
Well, my main account is Drew period blood. Drew period blood. Drew dot blood. Sorry. And that's my tattoo page. That's pretty much the main one I use. I go by Satanic Senpai on TikTok, but I don't really use it that much.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
And then where are you located at?
I am at Ivory and Gold Tattoo Studio, owned by Corinne Gilbert. She's another anime artist, fantastic artist. I think y'all spoke with her.
Yes.
She's really cool. And that's over there off of like Bitters and 281. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, we had a great time with you, Drew Blood. We'll definitely have you back. Thank you guys for watching Pulse. We'll see you guys again in another episode.